Hello friends, welcome to Kalyani IAS Academy. In the previous lectures, we have studied issues and initiatives in the field of industrial sector. In this lecture, we will study issues and initiatives in the field of service sector. So let's start the topic with service sector issues and initiatives. At first, we will study what is service sector. See, service sector is a sector that provides services to primary sector, that is agricultural sector, and secondary sector, that is industrial sector, also for consumers. Means in this sector goods are not produced. See, as I told you that the primary sector is depend on the primary sector, or we can say that agricultural sector is directly depend on natural resources, right? Natural resources. Then the secondary, or we can say that industrial sector, the secondary or industrial sector uses output of primary or agricultural sector as a input. It means that it adds the value in the output of primary sector. Then comes to tertiary sector, or we say that the service sector. So service sector provides services to primary sector and secondary sectors. Also consumers provide services to the consumers, and in this goods are not produced. Instead of producing goods, here knowledge and information are converted into services. See, there are many subsectors of tertiary sector or service sector. For an example, repair work. Here, the repairment of the vehicles or electronic products are done so that the old, or we can say that the waste electronic or vehicles can be repaired, right? Then hotel and restaurant. Service sector also include transport facilities, right? Via road, railway, air, right? Here, if we understand then transportation, then there are three type of transportation: road transportation, railway transportation, and air transportation. It also includes storage facilities. For an example, the warehouses and cold storages for agricultural products, vegetable and fruits. Also communication and broadcasting of news and entertainment programs, right? Also service sector includes the financial services, and here financial services includes providing banking services, right? Providing banking services, then insurance services, and then other financial services. So providing these banking, insurance and other financial services are also included in service sector. Then next, public administration. As you know, now this time you are preparing for MPPSC examination. When you will qualify, then definitely you will provide public administration system. So in India, whatever service which is being produced by the government for the citizens of India, that is public administration and defense services. Also other services which are being produced by the government officials, right? The service sector also includes real estate. In real estate, then residential and professional services. It also includes the construction works also. So these are the subsectors of service sector. Before studying the issues of service sector, I would like to tell you the importance of the service sector. See, service sector has become the engine of Indian economy. Why? As you know that at the time of independence, agriculture sector has the largest share in the GDP of our country. But as you know that after that the growth rate in service sector is more than secondary and tertiary sector, and at present highest share, right, highest share in the GDP is of service sector. So here therefore the service sector has been become the engine of our Indian economy. Also the highest share in GDP is from the service sector, right, which shows that our economy is shifting from the developing economy to the developed economy. As you know that when economy where there is a highest share of primary sector or agricultural sector, then definitely this economy would be a underdeveloped economy. For an example, that Indian economy, but before independence, or we can say that before 1947 our economy was underdeveloped, and there was a highest share of agriculture in the GDP of our country. Then secondary sector, or we can say that industrial sector, then developing, right. When the share of industrial sector increases, then this economy is considered as developing economy, right. And when an economy where the highest share is of tertiary sector or which is a service sector, then this shifts from developing to developed, right. So we can say that the developed economies of the world, we can say that these are also service economies of the world. But there is a slightly difference here. India is the only country in the world which has shifted from the agricultural sector to tertiary sector, right. At present more than 50%, the share of service sector is more than 50% in our GDP, which is telling the shifting of economy from the developing category to the developed category, right. Next is the share of service sector in India's gross value added is about 55.2%, which is the highest in three sectors of economy, right. Also the service sector contributes around 30% in the employment of our country. Also the contribution of service sector in export is 40%. So as you know that you need to understand the share in GBA is 55%, in employment 30%, export 40%. Also it is important for primary sector and secondary sector also, because as you know that, for an example, that transport services, as you know that transport services take raw material, right, or we can say that agricultural product or the output of primary sector to industries, right, and the output of industries, which is finished goods, is taken to market. So we can say that here transport is a link between the raw material to the finished product to the market. Therefore service sector also plays an important role in the development of primary sector and secondary sector. So this was the importance of service sector. Now we will study the issues, problems and challenges of service sector. As you know that here 11 marker question or 5 marker question can be asked in the examination, right. For an example, discuss the problems in the service sector of Indian economy, or write the challenges of Indian service sector, then write the issues of the service sector, right. So here if the question is asked in 5 marker, then we have to briefly discuss all the issues, challenges or problems in service sector. And if the question is asked through 11 marker question, then we have to discuss each and every aspect of our answer. Here the problems and issues of services sector can be categorized in two parts. First is general. Now what is the difference between general and sector specific? See, here the issues which is in every subsector of our service sector. For an example, that the issues or problems which is having in all these subsectors of service sector would be considered as a general, or we can say that general issues or general problems. But if particular problem which is having in a subsector, then we would consider it a sector specific issues. For an example, tourism, which is means because of corona it has been badly affected, right? Then transportation, energy shortages, like this. So in the examination, while writing the 11 marker question, at first we will discuss the problems and issues, right? And the problems and issues are of two types. First is general, then second is sector specific. Here general problems or general issues are issues related to infrastructure. When there is a lack of infrastructure, then definitely the service sector cannot grow. For an example, that as you know that to have a better transport services, it is better national highway or better roadways are required. So if there is a lack of national highway, roadways, or we can say that lack of infrastructure, then definitely the transport sector cannot grow itself, right? So issues related to infrastructure, then competition, right? As you know that because of the competition you have to provide services which is means reasonable and which has the highest quality, and because of the competition you have to provide a best quality service at reasonable price. Therefore it is difficult to produce a particular service at a reasonable price. Then improve the work efficiency, right? Then decrease in job creation and government apathy. So these are the general issues of service sector. If we talk about the sector specific, so the first thing is that tourism sector. As you know that because of corona pandemic, the long term lockdown have been imposed or had been imposed in India and in the rest of the world, and because of the lockdown the people could not go to foreign countries and could not visit the tourist places. Therefore the tourism sector and related activities to tourism like hotel and transport, these are also badly affected. Then transport which is having energy shortages, communication, cold drop problem or AGR problem, business many type of difficulties, and banking NPA problem. Now we will study the issues in detail. The first thing is that lack of infrastructure, right? As I told you here that if there is a lack of infrastructure, then definitely the service sector or services cannot grow itself. For an example, that as you know that if there is not a road or national highway, then the transport service cannot grow. Also, as you know that when there is not a connectivity, then definitely the internet services, right? Internet services and other services cannot be provided in a particular area. Therefore, to have a better services in a particular area, the infrastructure should be improved, and this is the reason. Therefore, there are many difficulties in the supply of important services in rural areas and urban areas, such as lack of infrastructure for transport, lack of power services, lack of transmission, and lack of shortage. And these are because of lack of infrastructure, in service sector, where in rural areas, remote areas, hilly areas and areas of low population density. Therefore, the hilly areas, rural areas are lacking behind in the field of service sector. Now, second thing is that here competition, as I already told you that because of as a result of liberalization and globalization, the competition is very tough at present time, and if the competition is high, then definitely you need to provide a service at reasonable price and having a better quality, right? Therefore, it is always a challenge to produce a particular service at a reasonable price at having very best quality, right? Third thing is that here the work efficiency. As you know that services are consumed by the consumer directly, therefore consumer expect better quality services. But as you know that major subsectors like hotels, restaurant, banks and businesses, right, they have to or they must improve their efficiency and behavior, keeping in the mind the concerns of the consumer. If the concerns of the consumers are not met by the services by hotel, restaurant, banks and businesses, then definitely this sector will lose the interest of consumer, and in result the inclination toward the other service sectors decreasing in the future also. So which means that service sector is a sector where there is always a corner to improve the work efficiency and behavior so that the consumer could attract toward these services, right? Next, decreased employment generation here. As you know that the service sector has become the engine of our economy and it contributes maximum around 54 to 55% in the GDP of Indian economy. But if we talk about the employment, then the same proportion is not applied in the employment. Here service sector only provides 30% employment, right? It means that the proportion which is having in the share of GDP is not available in the field of employment. Therefore, it is considered that the growth in the service sector is also known as growth without the employment, right? So what the proportion which is having in GDP, that should also be increased in the employment. Therefore, service sector has to increase the employment in its sector, right? Next, government indifference, right? As you know that there are many major service subsectors like tourism, right? As you know that there are many cultural places, there are many religious, cultural and natural tourist spots in our country, but there is not our tourism sector has not our tourism sector does not have an international reach. Also hotels and financial services immense potential for the development, but because of political will, lack in political will, government apathy, bureaucracy and corruption, right, that leads to disenchantment of tourists and consumers both domestically and globally, right? If a particular foreigner, if a foreigner had to visit India, and if we are providing him a best tourism facility, we are providing him best hotel services, and we we are also able to meet his requirement, then definitely our tourism industry, as a result of hotel industry and financial sector, will improve. But if there is lack of bureaucracy and government apathy, then definitely this sector cannot grow, right? So these were the general problems or general issues, general challenges which are in all subsectors of service sector. Now we will discuss sector related issues and problems, right? Means the issues and problems which are available in particular subsector of service sector. The first thing is that tourism. As you know that tourism plays an important role in the growth of a country, and it attracts it attracts also foreign capital in the form of forex reserve. As you know that when foreigners comes to India, they convert their dollar into rupees, they visit our tourist places wherever they expand. So when tourism increases, our forex reserve, right, our forex reserve also increases. So and when forex reserve increases, we are able to import whatever we require from developed countries like USA and Britain, right? So here if we talk about tourism industry, then second, because of tourism, the transport and hotel and restaurant, these facilities also improve as a result of tourism. But as you know that because of corona pandemic, long term or long lockdowns have been imposed in our country and in the world. Therefore people could not move from a particular place to another place, and people could not visit the tourist places. Therefore the economies which are based on tourism like Switzerland, Mauritius have collapsed badly, right? And if when the corona pandemic corona pandemic would be in control, only then this sector will grow in future, right? So because of corona pandemic, tourism sector has collapsed badly. Second, hotel and restaurant. As you know that because of the corona guidelines, it is not allowed to eat or stay stay or eat food in restaurants or stay at hotels. Therefore the hospitality sector or hotel restaurants are also badly affected because of the corona pandemic. Then third thing is that here transport. See, as you know that the transport industry require fuel, right? And if the fuel is available at a cheap rate, then definitely the fare prices would be also cheap. But when the fuel increases sharply, therefore the fare services or the transport cost also increases. So the first thing is that the crude oil prices, or if we talk about the prices of diesel and petrol, are increasing in our country. That's why it is creating a problem for transport sector, because if there is a price hike in the transport sector, then definitely many people would not take the advantage of transport sector, right? Also, as you know that this sector is having a problem of pollution, right? Because of old vehicles and many vehicles, the air pollution is increasing day by day. Therefore government and Supreme Court and High Court are announcing new initiatives so that the pollution could be curbed. For an example, that now VS4 engine, now the automobiles industry has to shift from BS4 engine to BS6, right? And it is also, we can say that it is also a challenge for the automobile industries to avail technology based on VS 6 engine. So in general sense we can say that here the transport subsector is struggling because of the hike in energy resources and also because of pollution, right? Now fourth is that communication and telecom companies. Here see, at present 5G technology is being promoted in every country and everywhere, right? But to increase the 5G connectivity we require 5G equipment, and at present the Huawei company is providing the 5G connectivity in world level. But as you know that many developed countries like US, Britain, which are opposing the Huawei company of 5G equipment from many countries, means Huawei company. And why is this problem? See, as you know that USA and many European countries, they showed that the Huawei company, which is a 5G networking company, had some connection to intelligence Chinese investigation or intelligence agency, and it is also being told by these countries that the Huawei company is creating a backdoor for Chinese intelligence companies, and if the equipment from the Huawei company are installed in a particular country or particular area, then China and Chinese intelligence agencies can control the communication, and which will harm the national security. Therefore the opposition from many countries is being faced by the Huawei. Therefore the growth rate, or we can say that the growth rate in 5G sector is decreasing day by day, right? Second thing is that, as you know that the case is going on in Supreme Court because of AZR problem. As you know that, at first I would like to tell you that what is AZR. So here you have understood the Chinese Huawei connection with Chinese investigation agencies and issue of 5G connectivity. Now we will discuss the AGR, which is adjusted gross revenue. See, to take the advantage of communication or communication services, telecom companies has to pay first license fee and spectrum fees, right? So every telecom company has to pay license fees and spectrum fees to the government of India through AGR, adjusted gross revenue. But what is the controversy here, or we can say that what is the dispute here, is that government of India has defined the AGR जो जितनी भी other activities also. यहाँ पर गवर्नमेंट का कहना ये है कि जो टेलीकॉम कंपनी की जो अदर एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जिसके माध्यम से वो रेवेन्यू जनरेट करती हैं, फॉर एन एग्जांपल दैट असेस्ट सेलिंग ऑफ असेस्ट, जैसे कोई कंपनी सिम बेचती है, हैंडसेट बेचती है, या कोई टेरिफ प्लान या कॉलर ट्यून, तो जो कॉलर ट्यून है, टेरिफ प्लान है, हैंडसेट बेचना है, ये सभी जो हैं ये अदर सर्विसेज हैं. और गवर्नमेंट का कहना है कि कोई भी टेलीकॉम कंपनी वॉट एवर एक्टिविटी इज ट्राइंग एंड इफ इट इज जनरेटिंग रेवेन्यू दैट वुड कम अंडर AGR. बट जो टेलीकॉम कंपनियां हैं उनका ये कहना है कि हम केवल और केवल लाइसेंस और स्पेक्ट्रम फी को ही पे करेंगे. देयर इज अ डिस्प्यूट हियर, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डिस्प्यूट एज यू नो दैट मैनी कंपनी जो है वो नया और जो है फ्रेश इन्वेस्टमेंट यहाँ पर नहीं हो पा रहा है. सो दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ AGR, राइट. नेक्स्ट, ट्रेड ऑफ सर्विसेज. right? As you know that there are many problems related to trade of services, such as lack of constitution of export promotion council, right? Here जो export promotion council होती है, it provides basic facilities and basic information to increase the export, and when there is not the institution related like, then definitely ये एक्सपोर्ट सर्विसेज के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, राइट? सेकेंड, देयर आर मैनी विजिबल एंड इनविजिबल बैरियर्स आल्सो. फॉर एन एग्जांपल दैट वीजा रेस्ट्रिक्शंस, राइट? वीजा रेस्ट्रिक्शंस, एज यू नो दैट यहाँ पर अमेरिका ने अपने देश में जो है टू प्रोटेक्ट द एम्प्लॉयमेंट इन यूएसए, अमेरिका ने वीज़ा जो है वीज़ा प्रतिबंध लगा दिए थे, और उसकी वजह से जो कई इंडियन प्रोफेशनल्स थे, दे कुड नॉट गोट द वीज़ा टू वर्क इन यूएसए, एंड देयर आर मैनी सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक रेस्ट्रिक्शंस आल्सो एंड preferential market access also. So because of visa restrictions, specific sector restrictions and preferential market accesses, there are many problems or many issues to trade of services, right? Next is banking. Here increasing problem of NPA, which is resulting in collapsing of banks. See, this is the burning issue in the field of banking sector. As you know that here, what does a bank do? It is a very simple that banks take savings from citizens, right? Then bank provide this saving as a loan to industrial unit, right? And when these industrial units are not capable of paying the loans, then definitely the assets in the form of this loan is called NPA here. And as you know that when NPA increases, then the balance sheet of bank would be affected badly, and this will lead to the collapse of a bank, right? See, as you know that whenever there is a scam which is in the news, then all the consumers of that particular bank pull out their money from their bank, and therefore as a result the bank collapses, and it is increasing day by day. And we can write also, see, this is a long chain. Because of increasing in NPA, the balance sheet is being affected, and because of that the banks are being collapsed in our country, right? And because of that the belief in financial sector is decreasing day by day, and it is not good for our country, because as you know that when belief in financial system will go down, then definitely the people of India will not deposit their saving in the bank, and as you know that when bank will not get savings as a deposit, then definitely bank did not have enough money to invest in the market as a loan, and when there would be a lack of investment in industrial sector, then definitely our industrial sector will not grow. Therefore increase in the NPA is a huge problem for our country also, right? Therefore, so these were the issues, or we can say that challenges and problems of service sector, right? And in conclude as a conclusion we can say that regulatory reforms are also necessary for this fast growing service sector. Also, solutions of constraints, issues and challenges at domestic level like regulatory and market regulatory and market access is also important for the growth in this sector. So these were the issues in service sector. Now we will study service sector initiatives, right? So the initiatives which were taken by the government of India in the field of service sector, we will study very comprehensively, right? See, as you know that service sector is the engine of our Indian economy, and service sector is having the largest portion in the GDP of our economy, right? In the GDP of our country. And as you know that before 1991 the growth rate in service sector was minimal, but after liberalization and privatization the growth rate in the field of service sector increased many fold, because as you know that because of liberalization and because of globalization the private investment or the private participation has been increased in banking, insurance, transport, communication, right? Also information technology, communication, etc., etc. And when the participation or the participation of private sector increase, the growth rate in service sector also increased. And at present government also taking many initiatives, many flexible initiatives, so that the growth rate in service sector could increase manifold also. Now we will see the initiatives which were taken by the government of India. The first thing, as you know that, the first is that government of India has planned to significantly liberalize the visa system. Why? As you know that I already told you that because of visa restrictions, specific area restrictions, we were unable to export our services in the world. Therefore government is liberalizing the visa policies so that every Indian could get a visa very easily. And also government is promoting digitalization in the field of visa, and you can apply for visa online and you can verify online also. So government has planned to significantly liberalize the visa system, including allowing business visas, so that the increase in the export of service sector could increase, right? Second thing is that here if we talk about white label ATM, then it will be very easy to understand, but for that we have to understand here ATM services. See, to control and to have the availability liquidity in the market, the ATMs play an important role. And as you know that there are three types of ATMs. The first is ATM owned and controlled by bank, right? For an example, that this is the branch of SBI bank, right? And in this branch, in a particular room, the ATM machine will be installed here. So the first category is owned, controlled and managed by a bank, and here at a branch it is managed and controlled by a bank. Then second comes to here brown label ATM. What is brown label ATM? See, here the bank has a lack of facility. For an example, that searching means searching of location, then installment of ATM machine, then security of this ATM machine, then refilling services also. And if the government, if any bank is unable to perform these duties, then brown label ATMs plays here important. In brown label ATM, the ATM machine is installed and security, provide security, right? Installation of ATM machine and security is provided by a particular firm, and here refilling of cash is done by bank. So it means we can say that the security aspect and installation is performed by a particular company and the refilling is performed by bank, and this type of facility which is provided by ATM is called ब्राउन लेवल एटीएम। और सीधी सी बात है, यहाँ पर फिर जो है वो बैंक का लोड क्या हो जाता है, कम हो जाता है। तीसरी चीज यहाँ पर ये है कि जो बैंक ऑफिसर्स हैं, राइट, यहाँ पर आता है वाइट लेवल एटीएम, राइट। वाइट लेवल एटीएम क्या होता है? इन दिस एटीएम द इंस्टॉलेशन, सिक्योरिटी एंड रीफिलिंग every activity is performed by a third party, or we can say that any company which has a net worth of 100 crore is allowed by the RBI to install a ATM, right, security and refilling of the ATM, right, and these ATM are called the white label ATM, and you need to mention it in your answer also, because here the white level ATM provides a basic facilities in financial market, and these are badly hit by corona pandemic also, because the maintenance of white label ATM is directly depend on the transaction performed by the consumers of a particular area. Suppose that there is a ATM here, white label ATM here, and if there are 100 transactions in a day, then definitely this ATM can get a revenue, this can generate a revenue. But whenever there is not any transaction, because here the white label ATM takes a transaction fees from a particular बैंक। जैसे यहाँ पर इस ATM से SBI के 100 कस्टमर ने ट्रांजैक्शन किया, तो यहाँ पर जो वाइट लेवल ATM की जो बॉडी है, जैसे मुथूट है, तो मुथूट यहाँ पर जो SBI से यहाँ पर ट्रांजैक्शन का क्या करेगा, कैश यहाँ पर चार्ज करेगा, और इसी में इसका क्या है, बेनिफिट है। तो कोरोना के कारण जो है वाइट लेवल जो ATM है उनका इस्तेमाल भी कम हुआ है, और ये यहाँ पर अफेक्टेड भी है। और तो ये तो एक क्या है, इश्यू है जिसको आप पिछली जो हमने देखी थी उसमें भी मेंशन कर सकते हैं। हाँ, यहाँ पर मार्केट में लिक्विडिटी बढ़ाने के लिए व्हाट हैव गवर्नमेंट और RBI हैज डन, RBI हैज अलाउड थर्ड पार्टी व्हाइट लेवल ATMs टू बी अलाउड टू accept international card as well as agreement with any commercial bank for cash supplies to white label ATM, and it definitely improves the service of white label ATM. Now the white label ATM can have an agreement with a commercial bank and can accept the international cards also, right? Also here government is promoting, right, digitalization or digital transaction. For that the government of India with the help of RBI here what is doing, they government of India and RBI promoting digital transactions through BHIM services, UPI services. As you know that the Google Pay and Phone Pay are based on UPI services, and many NPCI policies, right, and NEFT, RTGS, right. So because of NPCI policies, PMAP, UPI services, the digital transaction in our country is being promoted by RBI and government of India also, right. Next, to improve our tourism sector, now through marketing means as you know that हमारे देश के जो जितने भी बड़े अभिनेता जैसे अमिताभ बच्चन, they are promoting tourism, and because of this advertisement or promotion our international access is being increased in the field of tourism, and definitely many other policies also. एक तो हम यहाँ पर जो है यहाँ पर एडवर्टाइजमेंट के माध्यम से वी आर प्रमोटिंग आवर टूरिज्म सेक्टर, आल्सो वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग मैनी फैसिलिटीज आल्सो. फॉर एन एग्जांपल दैट ऑनलाइन वीजा. if you want to tour our country, then you can have a online visa and you can extend your visa also, right? For an example that you are a particular foreigner is in Kanha Kisli National Park and his visa has been expired, then at first he needs to go and he needs to renew his visa. Then definitely he may think that no, I don't want to tour here, I would like to go my home. But if we are providing him online extended visa services, then definitely he will think that I can extend my visa online, so I don't need to go a particular place, I can enjoy here and I can stay here more 5 and 6 days. So this will also promote our tourism and other facilities are being provided to tourists so that our tourism industry could increase many fold. Next is here, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has launched a service portal. See, a service portal is a single window platform, right? A service portal is a single window platform which is launched and promoted by Ministry of Electronics and Informational Technology, which will provide uninterrupted access to government services like education, health, electricity, water, land services, justice, law and pension services also. And through a service portal, the citizens of our country could get the benefit of this portal and could avail the services online. Next here, Ministry of Commerce and Electronics and Information Technology has announced to increase the number of common services center along with functioning of e-service distribution center. So which means what is happening here, the e-service distribution center and common service center are the platforms where the entrepreneurs from village level can have interaction or can have interact with the national experts. So through this platform, a citizen from village level, or we can say that rural area, can have advice or can interact with international experts, right? Next is the most important Evid scheme, right? The Evid scheme, which was launched by the government's Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, which is also known as DIPP, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and a private firm Infosys, right? So Evid scheme was launched by Infosys and DIPP, and through this scheme, online portal in country would be created, and it is one of the integrated service project under the National E-Governance Plan of the Government of India, right? And what is the aim of here? The Evid scheme here, the Evid scheme would create an investment friendly environment in India, right? Second thing is that have all regulatory information available where the relevant stakeholders will be able to initiate, operate, even close a business, right? So यहाँ पर जो ई बिजनेस स्कीम है, थ्रू ई बिजनेस स्कीम all information related to create, right, create, initiate, operate or close a business, also the relevant information would be provided through Evid scheme, right? Next is, in order to reduce the additional taxes on services and to ensure one type of tax rate throughout the country, government has executed GST here. and it will also play an important role to improve the service sector in our country. Also, government has taken the initiatives to promote the research in our country. The government has announced to provide a one-way tax relief of 200% of the expenditure incurred in this area in service sector. And also Atal Exploration Mission AEM has been set up by the government, under which it aims to develop a world-class exploration chain by increasing exploration also, right? And here a SETU, self-employment and talent utilization program has been started to help the build technology business and increase the startup businesses, right? So Atal Exploration Mission would create a world-class exploration change and this will increase technology business, also increase the startup business. Next, over the years, Government of India has signed many bilateral trade agreements with Singapore, South Korea, Japan and Malaysia to promote trade in services also. Next, the Service Export for India scheme is being promoted by replacing Services from India scheme in trade policy measurement. And हम यहाँ पर जो है अब सर्विस एक्सपोर्ट भारत से को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं. Also, government has taken many initiatives and taking many measures to promote schemes like tourism, shipping, digitization and FDI liberalization in the service sector. Next, the export duty rate under the goods and services टैक्स विल बी जीरो. तो जो एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी है वो जीएसटी में जीरो होगी. एंड द मेन रेट्स ऑफ द जीएसटी इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज सेक्टर आर फॉलोज, एंड दिस विल हेल्प टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ जीएसटी विल improve the service sector or how the GST will be helpful in the growth of service sector. So if we talk about the GST, then the rate of GST on education and health services is zero, and this will promote the health and education sector, right? Second thing is that for economical class the air travel is 5% category. Then the rate of transportation of goods by rail and by sea is 5%, and if the GST slab is 5% or less, then definitely it will promote the transportation by railway and by sea route. Next, the 12% on the sale of food and beverages in restaurant. But what is the most important here? The restaurant which is not allowed to sell liquor and having AC facilities. So the restaurant which does not sell liquor and does not have an AC facility would be under 12% slab. But if a particular restaurant which is having AC facilities and selling liquor facilities, then this would be in a 80% slab. In the same way, जो होटल्स हैं और गेस्ट हाउसेज हैं, यदि उनका जो है हायर 1000 से 2500 के बीच में है, तो उनको जीएसटी के 12% के स्लैब में रखा गया है. While the rooms are available more than 7,000 and more, then the tax payable on daily rooms has been kept at 18%. तो सीधी सी बात है, यहाँ पर जो है अफोर्डेबल, हम जो कह सकते हैं कि अफोर्डेबल होटल रूम्स हैं या गेस्ट हाउसेस हैं, उनके लिए 12% की स्लैब रखी गई है. और वहीं पर जो एसी वाले हैं या विच इज़ हैविंग एवरी फैसिलिटी, that would be under the 18% slab. So इस तरीके से भारत के जो नागरिक हैं वो इन सेवाओं का लाभ लेंगे, right? Now we can conclude this topic as, see, यहाँ पर government has taken many promotion measures. Also government has taken many promotion measures. Also government is through multi-sectoral global service exhibition and why international summit on travel and of medical importance, Government of India is promoting as a leading global healthcare destination and service provider. तो यहाँ पर government through multi-sectoral global service exhibition and many summits के माध्यम से यहाँ पर Government of India is promoting our service sector here, right? So these were the initiatives which were taken by the Government of India. Now we have studied this topic very comprehensively. Now I have taken many questions for you to practice at home. So these are the model 3-marker question which can be asked in the examination. So you need to try to write what is service sector, what is white label ATM, what is Evid scheme, and what is the importance of service sector in our economy. Then 5-marker questions. First is discuss the issue of communication and telecom sector, and you need to mention 5G and Huawei dispute, then AZR dispute, then cold drop dispute, right? Second, impact of corona pandemic on tourism, and third, throw light on common problems of the service sector. Next, 11-marker question. First is highlight the major problems related to service sector, and in 11-marker we have to write the general issues and the sector specific issues also, right? And second thing is that discuss the major initiatives of the government for the service sector. To write a 11-marker question, I told you many times that at first you need to write introduction, you need to introduce a question, then you need to write a body, and here body would be the initiatives of the government for the service sector, and at last you need to conclude. So this was the topic. In the next lecture we will meet with new topic. Till then, thank you.